Welcome back to more Spellcasting 101. You notice we're way back here when we had Gretchen in our room when she got drunk. What I realized is that somehow naughty mode got turned off. I'm not sure if you have to type it in every time, but we need the naughty mode. So we missed out on this original picture with Gretchen looking all naughty and sexy. I'm not sure why she's wearing Mickey Mouse gloves, but anyways, it's about all she's wearing. So, in naughty mode, I don't think you can do anything else. She's still passed out drunk. Without being too sexist about this, va-va-va-va-voom! Gretchen's eyelids collapse and her breathing becomes slow and deep. Alright, so turns out you can have sex with her. Took me a few tries. Tried talking to her, she just falls asleep. I took off my cloak, she falls asleep. Oh yes, you incredible mud stuff and funk. Huck me. She starts pulling at various articles of clothing, yours and hers, while sucking at various parts of your anatomy. She moans, then another moan deeper and longer, then a deep, long snore, as she falls into a deep, long sleep. Alright, so we need to make sure we stay in naughty mode. Alright, I've ensured we are in naughty mode. I must have reloaded to a previous reload and forgot to re-enable it. But we're going to want to redo this other scene as well. This is the housemaster's apartment. So the description is also more sexual, more, exposing, if you will. More delectable than the food is Hillary herself in her tight, low-cut blouse. And her skirt that, were if it anywhere shorter, would have been called a belt. I see you drooling there, my boy. Can't say I blame you. You swallow a rather piggish portion. Hillary catches your eyes and slowly licks a large glob of mashed potatoes off her upper lip. She turns to you, bending low, asking in a husky tone, "Can I serve you?" Yes. Nah. I'd be tempted to use it myself, except for, yes, a delicious choice of wine, my dear. We can drink wine now, because we're in naughty mode. He slugged down a mouthful of the sweet wine. He talks again about the black demons and blue devils. And then he falls face first in his food. Hillary lifts his head for a moment, ascertains that he is truly asleep, and lets him fall back into the potatoes. How impressive. He lasted over 10 minutes tonight. He must have had quite a day. She tosses the serving platter aside and leans back, exposing her shapely legs. And what should we do now, And then boom! Naughty mode. Hillary lifts his head. Well, we should have sex. But first we should save. Remove cloak. You strip off the cloak. Hillary licks her lips. I like a man who gets right down to business. You and Hillary tumble to the floor like a pair of mad rabbits. Hillary simply erupts with passion. She is truly a passionate woman. She's like Passionate Patty. Passion is her middle name. She is the Mount Vesuvius of passion. In the dictionary under passion, it says, see Hillary ticking clock. She shrieks, topples an end table, tears down several window treatments, and breaks 6 pieces of expensive crockery. And then she nears orgasm and gets really excited. Despite a crescendo of shrieks and moans, which must have surely been noticed by even the oblivious M&M players, the professor snores blithely on. Hillary rolls aside, glistening with sweat. Not bad, Sorceress boy. She snarfs a cigarette and lights it. You'll have to drop by again sometime. The old goat plays bridge every Thursday and triple Fanucci every Sunday. Oh wait, my monsieur comes on Thursdays and I'm occupied on Sundays as well. But keep in touch. She tidies you up and escorts you to the door. Hooray for naughty mode. Alright, Ernie is getting busy. It's getting late, maybe we can hit a party. Parties tonight? Yeah, there we go. Dance. Yeah, boogie. I'm walking around naked, I guess. You over here whispered, giggling. I hit that one in the lacy dress with a couple of intox spells. I think she's ready. Whoa! That is rapey as fuck! You hiccup in the middle of casting the spell, and the spell fails, producing only a short-lived shower of sparkles. So whenever you drink any alcohol, you automatically fuck your spells up for the day. Examine room. Up to Jason's room with 2 really hot. A fraternity nymph materializes and hovers nearby. So sorry, only frat brothers are allowed upstairs. After giving you a playful kick in the shoulder, the nymph disappears. Someone nudges you in the ribs. Yo, man, catch the pair. Kazonga's on that babe. You follow his finger, and sure enough, the anatomical protrusions in question are indeed prodigious. Got tits. A parson nymph pops into view. You can't refer to specific body parts, only to people as a whole, so kiss Stella instead of kiss Stella's elbow, and operate on Ralph instead of operate on Ralph's toe. As quickly as it came, the nymph is gone. Damn it. We need a nympho to appear now. You over here, there was some giggling. Okay, you already said that. Can't go upstairs here either. It's dance naked. Alright, I think we're done for the day. Time to head back home. Looks like, well, you know, we had sex earlier with Hillary, so it's not a complete loss today. Might as well rub one out. Yes, it's always a good idea to practice by yourself. You never know when the skills might come in handy, but you better hurry up. Only 5 minutes until the next prompt. Better hurry. Are you gonna make it? You gonna make it? Make it, make it! Yes, made it! You slide to the floor and fall asleep. You're high atop the mast of a pirate ship. Far below, Lola Tigerbelly is being forced to walk the plank into the mouth of the waiting lockpick monster. Grabbing a rope, you swoop down and pluck Lola from the very edge of the plank. You wake up rested, refreshed, and eager to face the world. Alright, it's Thursday. Maybe there's more news. Read news. Farming can kill you. Some scientists in Blabber says that the new chemicals they're using on farms can kill you, especially if you eats the stuff or if you works with it a lot. Sounds like a bunch of manure to us. If you goes around eating chemicals, you deserve to die, I'd say, right? Them eggheads just don't know what to do with their time, you know? Whoever's writing this paper is getting shittier and shittier on the daily. Blue denim's a waste of money. Them blue denims are gonna be playing here soon. It's a mystery why there's all this fuss about a bunch of freaks running around a stage wearing a couple dragon scales for clothes and shouting loud enough to bust your ears and tossing lots of goat's blood around. Take some free advice and save your dough. If you do go, bring some real throwing knives and show the denims what real blood looks like. Weasels kick ass in Pokeball tournament. SU's Pokeball team won last night, nosing out the Seaman University Sea Serpents and killing their pathetic Beggar University Bandits. It's hard to believe that these are the same bums who finished in 2nd Division last year. They seem more like the team that won it all 2 years ago. I'm not going to waste my time describing the game, so if you weren't there last night, but were off studying or something instead, well then you lose, you nerd. Frat should key ban. So some loudmouth babies are whining because they don't like a few words in some song that's played so loud nobody can understand it anyways. Well, if they don't like it, why don't they just stay home and shut the fuck up instead of belly aching and ruining things for people who don't have a stick up their ass? If I was on this band, I think I would add a new verse to tell these little shits where they could go. Okay, we need to get to class. We're too busy reading the newspaper. This map comes from the Spittoon Empire, circa 520. It represents the first accurate map of inhabited Peloria. Spittoon was the first of the great seafaring kingdoms, which led to both their need for good maps and their ability to create them. The Spittoon coordinating system is shown on this map is still used by sailors today. Follow along on your map, you'll find Spittoon on the magnificent harbor and midpoint of the southern shore of the Fizzbuttle Ocean. From this harbor, Spittoon vessels ply the ocean, exploring, trading, and conquering. What else can we do in class? Raise hand. A possum nymph is suddenly... What? You can't refer to... I don't about more capital city, apart from the depression points to his handle the first row. Yes. Can anyone tell me what ended Spittle's dominance of the high seas? I don't understand why I can't say raise hand. War with the kingdom of Blabber, replies an unctuous freshman whose name escapes you. Correct! The sinking of the Spitone fleet at the mouth of Blabber River made Blabber the new naval power. Let's see. You let loose a long, loud one. The professor snaps. Let's try and control all bodily functions, okay? If anyone's interested in an excellent account of this war and how it spurred the development of bronze working, I strongly recommend The Short History of the Spittle-Blabber War by Franz Dried Purple Grape. Whereas spittoons were the great cartographers, Blabberians were the great scientists. They attempted the first soundings of the Fitzbottle Ocean, thus becoming the first to discover that the ocean was bottomless. They also attempted the first passage through the treacherous straits of Little Happy Chicken. This expedition, led by Horatio Little Happy Chicken, never returned. Thus the Blabberians were first to suspect that we now know for certain today that beyond the straits, the ocean pours off the end of the world in a great cascade of boggling proportion. Who can tell me why the great cascade doesn't eventually empty the entire ocean? The professor glances down at his pupil manifest. How about Mr. Layer of Morning Mist? The victim seated near you twitches nervously. Because the water pours into the mouth of a giant lizard? No! Don't guess, read your assignments, dumbass! It pours into the mouth of a giant rodent. The rodent then spits it up into the sky where it falls back to Peloria as rain, replenishing the ocean. From this we've deduced the basic causes of Pelorian weathered patterns. For instance, we know that periods of drought came about when the giant rodent is thirsty, and is therefore drinking all the water from the Great Cascade. On the other hand, during monsoon season, the rodent is sated and spits back all the water that falls into his mouth. Similarly, the seasons are the doings of a giant dragon and a giant ice monster, which live on the back of the giant rodent. In the winter, the dragon hibernates, and the ice monster's breath chills our air, freezes all lakes and mountain slides. In the summer, it is an ice monster's turn to hibernate, while the dragon awakes to warm Peloria and melt the snows of winter. Unctuous in the front row raises a hand. Ahem. Yes, the hand over there. In last month's International Journal of Spellcasting, Smelly Bullfish purports to prove that Pelorian weather patterns can only be explained by the presence of 3 great ice monsters and 7 great dragons. How do you feel about those theories? Utter hogwash! 14 oaken trees clearly shows in his latest treatise that there is insufficient room on the back of the great rodent for more than 1 great dragon and 1 great ice monster. Before we wrap up, let me give you a look at what we'll be discussing next week. On Tuesday, we'll be looking at the 5 basic building blocks of matter: earth, water, air, fire, and food. I'll review Sitting Duck's proof that the other types of matter can exist. And on Thursday, this must be next week, I'm going to explain the latest theories of life, including Quick Silverfoot's proof that the soul resides in the pancreas. There's a food fight on Friday in the cafeteria, 8:20 a.m. Whoa. You hear a moan of exhaustion as the heavy weight of a body collapses against your back. You turn gracefully and lower a cloaked and hooded woman to the floor. You draw back the hood to give her some air. Mom! It is indeed your mother. She looks terrible, her face sunken, her hair stringy and splattered with mud, her breath shallow and labored. Her eyes flicker open. Ernie, it is you. I'm not too late. Here, take this talisman. She presses a shapeless lump of rock into your hand. You get 40 points. A graduation nymph appears. Congratulations. Oops, I see you're busy. I'll leave. The nymph vanishes without a trace. Your mom's eyes close for a moment. I should have told you years ago. But now you must be told about the prophecy. The seer who, on the day of your birth, a massive blow hits you from behind. And as you fall, you see a pack of heavily armed men fanning out. In the last moments of fading consciousness, a barrage of confusing images. Swords flashing, boxes heaped high on a cot, a torch being touched to a curtain, and your mother being led away at sword point. Much later, with the sun's low in the sky, you are roused by the shrill cry of a vulture. The first floor of the castle is the main lecture hall for freshmen. It appears to have been recently vandalized. Arched openings lead northeast and east. A wide stair winds toward the upper floors. Doors lead west to the court, and a long hallway points southwest. A tarnished plaque is mounted. You see a registration form. Okay. Got all my stuff. All right, we are back into the simulation. We gotta gub the tree. This is the same simulation, same thing we did earlier. Feel robust. It's an atomic dragon. Greet dragon. You give a friendly wave. The dragon gives an unfriendly blast of radioactive flame. A scream of distress spills from the tower. The dragon bellows a challenge, and the mighty blast of glowing dragon breath washes past you as you dodge to the side. You kill that big bastard. But actually, he flies away badly wounded. A fetching damsel in distress is chained to the floor. Various rodents nip at her feet. Her gown is torn nearly to shreds, and she looks as if she's about to faint. Looks like we took too long. The pendulum with the razor-sharp edge swings back and forth above the damsel, dropping lower and lower with each pass. A long wooden lever is mounted on the wall. The damsel shrieks with horror as the pendulum gruesomely slices through her torso, splattering you with her blood. I'm still gonna kiss her. This sort of necrophilic perversions don't deserve a response, you disgusting sicko, you. You unchain the damsel, a little late, some might say. You begin climbing down the ivy. Oops! It pulls off the wall of the tower. You plunge into the moat. The sharp rocks open a few veins, which really whips the crocs and piranhas into a hungry frenzy. And your dinner! Now you'll notice, even though we didn't win, we have the Gub spell, the Vi spell, and the Zem spell. We get to keep them now. Alright, let's see. This place is torn to shit. You're standing in the central lounge area of the primary on-campus dormitory. Normally a bustling place, the lobby is unusually void of activity. The carpet is out of place and one of the pillars is badly damaged. A metal plaque adorns the wall. Seems to be snakes and shit here as well. The fuck was that? This is the housemaster's apartment. It's been severely vandalized. Paintings destroyed, walls defaced, curios broken. A stair leads down to the students' rooms. An old wooden surfboard is mounted on the wall over the mantel as a trophy. What a great work of art might be. Let's get the surfboard. As your hand nears the surfboard, a bolt of energy zaps your fingers, leaving the tip stinging, not to mention smoking. The spar removes magical protections. A blue glow surrounds the surfboard for a moment. You take the surfboard. Good thing it wasn't nailed down. Moving the surfboard reveals a small spell box in the recess in the wall over the fireplace. The spell box slides out of the recess and falls to the floor. A finger of energy leaps from the spell box to your spell book, dazzling your eyes. When the vision returns to normal, you see the spell box has vanished. We got the blubber spell. The blubber spell will summon a whale. A whale appears, scrunched in this small space. He seems to be very uncomfortable. You seem to be very dead. The end. You've achieved a score of 196 out of 1,000. 354 moves. This gives you a rank of level 3 shit sticker. Had a feeling that was going to happen. The surfboard makes a momentary sputtering noise. What the hell happened here? An old man, beaten and bloodied, is lying on the dock. He looks up, and you recognize Professor Peeler of Small Figs, who you recall was the other person that Professor Ticking Clock said knew the secrets of the Sorcerer's appliance. "You're young Eaglebeak," he says weakly. "They've got it. They've taken the appliance." He coughs weakly, and spittles of foamy blood spray from his mouth. "It was the newspaper staff. He kidnapped the staff and replaced them with his thugs." Used the newspaper office as a center of operations. Knew that nobody would notice. Nobody reads that newspaper anyways. A fire suddenly burns in his eyes. They took Otto. Professor Ticking Clock also. He knows the secret of the appliance. He must find... must find... He slumps to the dock, lifeless. Whoa. Search the corpse. Search... Dead man. Examine skull. You look at the skull, finally grasping its meaning. What you once perceived as an excuse for a cheap joke by the author about hominins, skull, and skull has been revealed by subsequent events to be a suave literary technique brilliantly foreshadowing the death scene of Professor A Peeler of Small Figs. The only thing you discover is the fact that you don't like searching corpses. You're wasting your breath. Professor A Peeler of Small Figs is no longer hearing anything besides the sound of angels' harps. The opulent dwelling of the SU president has been thoroughly looted. A large desk of polished fudungwood squats in the corner, and the door leads southeast. Empty shattered display case occupies a prominent spot in the room. You've made off with the goodies. You place the surfboard in the water. It appears seaworthy. Now you have to use the map that came with the game, which gives you the basically what to set the dials to on the surfboard. So set left. Let's try this. 2-6. And then the right dial goes to an animal, which in this case is a tick. Standing on the surfboard. And just to show you what the map looks like, here's a digital scan of it. You can see we're here at Sorcerer U. We want to get to the foot island here that's shaped like a foot, so we're going 6 and then the tick. You also can see these other places: Blabber, Upper Blabber, New Barfton, Port Curdle, Pootsburg, Port Gecko, Fort Blackwand. There's me on my surfboard getting chased by a serpent. This looks like Babe Island. So now that we're standing on the surfboard, we're going to press the button. The surfboard takes off like a bat out of hell. Whee! Fizz butter lotion on the surfboard. The sea stretches to the horizon in all directions. The surfboard continues to zip across the surface of the water. We're approaching land, folks. And Chapter 3. The Island of the Lost Souls. A woman told her disobedient son, Seymour, I'm going to take a bath. Stay here in our yard and don't run off. But as soon as she settled in the tub, he ran off wrapping a towel around her waist. The woman ran out into the yard yelling, Seymour, Seymour. Just then a man came strolling down the street and responded, Lady, I don't want to see no more. I've seen enough already. Old favorite at Port Gecko High School. Right, Kitty Cat? Kitty Cat's in here. And here we are at the Island of Lost Souls. A grassy meadow runs right to the water's edge. A large sign has been erected here. They like using that word erect. Clearly to catch the eye of anyone arriving on the island. Paths leave the meadow to the northeast, east, and southeast. A fire is burning intensely in the center of the meadow. And your score has gone up by 20. Alright folks, that wraps it up for this episode of Spellcasting 101. Stay tuned for more.